The rain had not stopped for 3 days, and neither had the tears of the young woman standing outside the hospital with nothing but a worn suitcase and a folder of unpaid medical bills. She believed she had already lost everything that mattered when a sleek black car pulled up beside her. A respected millionaire doctor stepped out, looked directly into her exhausted eyes, and whispered 5 words that would change both of their lives forever. "Pretend to be my wife." Before she could even process the impossible request, he quietly added one condition that sent a chill through her heart. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about love. It was a promise that could either heal 2 broken souls or destroy the little hope they had left. If you believe kindness and second chances can change lives, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in hope, comment where you're watching from, and subscribe to Kindness Legacy to support more heartfelt stories like this. Emma Carter had spent the last 3 years taking care of her younger brother Noah after their parents passed away in a tragic highway accident. She worked double shifts at a neighborhood bakery, skipped meals whenever money became tight, and smiled through every hardship so Noah would never lose hope. Life had taught her that love often meant sacrifice, but nothing had prepared her for the day Noah collapsed during a school soccer match. Doctors discovered a serious heart condition that required expensive treatment. Emma sold nearly everything she owned, borrowed from friends, and even slept in the hospital waiting room for weeks. Still, the bills kept growing while hope seemed to disappear one painful day after another. Across the city lived Dr. Ethan Brooks, a brilliant heart surgeon admired by everyone who knew him. His medical achievements had earned him wealth beyond imagination, yet success had never filled the emptiness inside his heart. 5 years earlier he had lost his wife and unborn daughter during a complicated delivery that even his extraordinary skills could not prevent. Since that devastating day, Ethan buried himself in work, saving countless lives while quietly believing he no longer deserved happiness. His elderly grandmother, Margaret, had become his only remaining family, but dementia slowly stole her memories. On her clearer days she begged him to find love again because she feared leaving him completely alone. Ethan always smiled gently and changed the subject, unable to explain that his heart had never recovered. The morning Ethan noticed Emma outside the hospital, she was desperately trying to negotiate more time to pay Noah's medical expenses. Her voice remained calm even while her hands trembled from exhaustion. Ethan had seen fear in thousands of patients, but there was something different about this young woman. She carried pain with remarkable dignity. Later that afternoon he learned from a nurse that Emma had refused several dishonest offers promising quick money because she would never compromise her values, no matter how desperate life became. That evening Ethan approached her with the strange proposal. His grandmother's birthday celebration was only days away, and Margaret's greatest wish was to meet the woman Ethan intended to marry. The doctor explained that the excitement might become one of her final happy memories before dementia completely erased the faces she loved. He offered to pay every penny of Noah's treatment if Emma would pretend to be his wife for 1 month. Then came the condition that stunned her. She could never tell Margaret the truth, no matter what happened, because Ethan wanted his grandmother's remaining memories to be filled with peace instead of disappointment. Emma barely slept that night. Accepting meant living inside a lie, something she had always avoided. Refusing meant watching Noah's condition worsen while opportunities slipped away forever. After hours of silent tears, she realized her brother's life mattered more than her pride. She accepted the agreement, promising herself she would leave the moment Noah recovered. The mansion where Ethan lived felt like another world. Marble floors reflected sparkling chandeliers while priceless paintings lined endless hallways. Yet despite the luxury, the home felt strangely empty, as though laughter had abandoned it years earlier. Margaret welcomed Emma with joyful tears, embracing her as if she had already become family. The elderly woman's genuine happiness pierced Emma's conscience every single day, making the lie increasingly difficult to carry. As the weeks passed, something unexpected began happening. Emma brought warmth back into the silent house simply by being herself. She baked fresh bread every morning, filled empty rooms with soft music, and convinced Ethan to take breaks from his endless surgeries. Hospital staff noticed the famous surgeon smiling more often. Nurses whispered that the cold, distant doctor had somehow become approachable again. Meanwhile, Noah responded wonderfully to treatment, slowly regaining strength that everyone feared he might never recover. One rainy evening, Ethan discovered Emma quietly repairing an old wooden music box she had found in storage. It had belonged to his late wife, and no one had touched it for years. Emma hadn't known its history. She simply believed beautiful things deserved another chance instead of being forgotten. Watching the melody return as the tiny ballerina began spinning once again, Ethan felt something inside him awaken after years of grief. He realized healing was not about forgetting the people we lost. It was about allowing ourselves to keep living in a way that honored their memory. Margaret's health suddenly declined only days later. During one of her final lucid moments, she held Emma's hands and thanked her for giving Ethan a reason to smile again. She admitted she had secretly known their marriage wasn't real from the very beginning. A mother's heart, she explained softly, could always recognize the difference between practiced affection and genuine love. Yet she also confessed that somewhere along the journey, the pretending had quietly disappeared. What remained in their eyes whenever they looked at each other could never be rehearsed. Those words changed everything. Emma realized she had fallen in love with a man she never intended to know, while Ethan understood that the woman who entered his life through an agreement had restored the compassion he believed grief had stolen forever. Still, Emma prepared to leave once Noah received medical clearance because she believed promises should be honored. On the morning she packed her suitcase, Ethan found a handwritten letter on the kitchen table thanking him for saving Noah's life and giving her family hope. She wrote that some blessings were too precious to repay and that she would always pray for his happiness, even if it could never include her. Ethan raced through the city searching for her until he reached the small neighborhood bakery where she had once worked endless hours. Standing in front of everyone, he admitted that the contract had ended long ago, but his feelings had not. The condition that once kept them apart no longer existed because Margaret had passed away peacefully the previous evening, surrounded by love instead of loneliness. The only promise Ethan wished to make now was one built entirely on truth. Emma looked at Noah, whose healthy smile had become the miracle she once believed impossible, and understood that life sometimes writes beautiful endings through unexpected beginnings. She no longer saw the lonely millionaire doctor who offered a temporary arrangement. She saw a compassionate man who had quietly carried unbearable pain while continuing to save strangers every single day. Together they chose not to erase their past scars but to build a future where those scars reminded them how powerful kindness, sacrifice, and hope could truly become. Before we reach the end of this story, please leave a comment telling us the moment that touched your heart the most and let us know where you're watching from. Months later, Ethan and Emma established a charitable foundation that helped families unable to afford life-saving heart treatments. Every child who walked out of the hospital with renewed hope reminded them of the day two broken lives unexpectedly crossed paths outside those same hospital doors. What began as a simple request to pretend became the greatest truth either of them had ever known. Sometimes the most extraordinary miracles don't arrive with loud celebrations or impossible magic. They begin with one act of compassion, one difficult choice, and one heart brave enough to believe that even after the darkest storms, love can still find its way home. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Legacy. Your support helps these stories of hope and kindness reach more people who may need a reminder that even the deepest wounds can heal when compassion leads the way.